What does that sound like to you?
Music.
Yeah, it's like yes, a lot is going on there, but notice how simple it is, right? There's a lot
Mhm.
of things happening there that are very simple. So
I'm very impressed. It sounds so beautiful. Goes together so well, and yet it's also very just one thing repeated again at different times, and then just a little bit of a beat to it.
that's right. That's right. Yep. So some things are really that simple.
Como el pueblo que regresó a Jerusalén y la reedificó, hoy nos toca la obra del Señor. Venid, hermanos, vamos a la labor. Vamos a reedificar. Nadie nos detendrá. Si Dios a nuestro lado está, vamos a reedificar. Nadie nos detendrá. Si Dios a nuestro lado está, vamos a reedificar. Vamos.
All right. Well, is everybody back? All right. Let me go to the English version, which I still have not recorded. Bummer. So I got to get around to recording it one of these days. It was quite a big deal to record this. Give you an idea where the song is coming from. What does it say? Where is it coming from?
Ezra, Nehemiah,
Yeah.
Haggai, and Zechariah.
And this was a big topic we spoke on or had a lot of different meetings. Spanish, we had a big Spanish meeting, the youth meetings and stuff about rebuilding, and especially after COVID. It was a really big theme after COVID. Time to rebuild. The walls were supposedly, torn down, and it's time to get back to work. So
I
let's see.
remember this. I remember this dearly.
Good, good. So let's just hear just a little of the words. Unfortunately, it's just going to be the computer playing it, but to give you an idea. Okay, and you may notice it's not an exact translation. In Spanish, the word is vamos. You guys know what that means?
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Yes. And for some reason, it just didn't sound as formal and powerful. Let's go. It didn't work. So that's one of the things you do in translating sometime, right? Like, let's go. It just sounds like going out for a hamburger or something. So um, it just doesn't work the same way. But I rise up, happen to work, happen to be the two syllables. So that's some of the things you do in translating. So just to take a quick look, this is the chorus of the song. What is going on as far as two parts here?
On the slide we're looking at,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
okay, one's got the melody, and the bass just has those the drum beats, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, rise up, right? Not let's go, but yeah, rise up. That's right. So yeah, let's listen to it one more time. There's a little change right there, right? What's the change right here?
Well, the bass got to go up,
Yes. So
and
according to our harmony class before, we know that all these are what? What are all these?
those are all do's.
That's right, Dale. And then we go up to,
The so
which is going to lead us back to, so wants to go back to where?
back to do, back to
Back to
do,
Dale. Yeah.
back to do.
So, that's actually kind of a big picture thing. In a way, all of the usual harmony we write is about going far away to so and coming back to do. That's our coming back to it. So do 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 do. I don't mean anything bad by that. I'm not talking about an extinct animal. I'm just right do do so do right. Now, this is about as simple as you can get for actually writing two different parts. And so just wanted to bring it up because it still can be very, very effective. And as we said, if you're going to write harmony after the melody, usually where's the first thing that you work with?
The bass.
The bass. That's right. So in this case, just one bass note is about the simplest we can get, but it can be pretty powerful, right? So if you read on the bottom, I actually kind of wrote this because it depends on, how you want to sing it. There's different ways to sing it. Chorus A is the simple version to sing with just two voice parts. And you can use this version for the other choruses as well. So even if people don't know voice parts, it doesn't take too much to sing Rise Up, right? Just everybody could probably do that. So wanted to bring that up because this is something that everybody might put in their chorus. You don't have to, but something very, very simple. And if you put it in the bass, then it could be just something very, very simple. And we'll talk about that in a second. Right. Then later on in that song, I actually had to pull out a different way of writing it. That's what we were talking about at the beginning. Because if it gets too complicated, if you have all these different parts going on at once, you're not going to be able to see it on what we call just the two staves. So here I have the three staves written out. And just a quick aside, we do put a treble clef there because sometimes you see it, even the tenor written out that way. But we won't worry too much about that. Just think of it as soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. But it's almost more like, if you look carefully, here at the top is the main melody. Here at the bottom is the bass. And let me just do this real quick. Make sure I don't leave it like this, but this is the same thing we saw before, right? Okay, that's what we saw before. So we understand where that's coming from. So what's added? What's new? So first of all, let me just get rid of this and we can concentrate on this.
On a glance, it looks like you've just taken the melody and echoed it exactly with another voice.
Exactly right. Yeah. So rise up, oh rise up and that's exactly what's here. Rise up, oh rise up and reveal. Okay. And so what we'll talk about later is what makes that work. For those who are in the class, you'll understand it's thirds. It's moving in thirds. Okay, so let's listen to it. Matter of fact, let's take this out for now and, oops. Let's see. Let's take this out for now and listen to just this. So it is exactly the same, right? And then let's look at one more. Now what happens there?
Otra vez.
It's otra vez. Very good. Good Spanish. Once again, Once again, it's the same thing. Rise up. Rise up. Oh, rise. All together. Okay, and so the one last one then that we still have is the bass, and when you put it all together, there's a couple things about really simple parts like this bass here. First of all, it's not hard to write, and it can make a difference to a song, and it's just really easy. And then one of the things about a simple part like that is it makes it a little easier to write something else if you so decide. If you see, like, so what happened with me is, like, I was like, whoa, that'll work. And I just started adding on to it a little bit more, and it works, I think, very nicely. So let's hear all of them together. What happens in the bass here?
They finally got some of the size rise up.
Yeah, they're singing along, and
Singing along.
actually not much is happening here. What are they singing?
Just the bass note,
Which is what?
the do.
Do, 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 do. This is what we call a pedal tone. And again, it can be very effective without being complicated at all. So there are some interesting things going up on here, a little bit in the harmony, but this pedal tone, there's no change in it. It's just do, 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 rise up. Oh, rise up and rebuild. Rise up. Okay? And then finally, for the last chorus, I actually had to write out 5 parts. But the extra part is very simple. Can you see where the extra part is here?
It'd be bass also, is that correct?
Yeah, and so it's this one right here. Rise up, oh, rise up and rebuild. Oh, rise up and rebuild. Oh, rise up. Now, is it complicated?
No, sir.
Not at all, right? But so let's get rid of the other stuff and let's listen to it just here. Since it matches the rhythm, it fits. Again, we would call that a pedal tone. It's just one note that keeps going again and again. It's pretty simple, but it's actually very effective. So then if we put them all together, what does that sound like to you?
Music.
Yeah, it's like, yes, a lot is going on there, but notice how simple it is, right? There's a lot of things happening there that are very simple. So
I'm very impressed. It sounds so beautiful. It goes together so well, and yet it's also very just one thing repeated again at different times, and then just a little bit of a beat to it.
that's right. That's right. Yep. So some things are really that simple. And again, that's one of the things about choruses. Choruses often have some very simple stuff happening, but because of the echo or the harmony, you get something really unusual, really different that can really, and again, always the goal is that we get the scriptural idea, right? And I hope that what we get out of this is get up. It's one of the biggest things, especially after the pandemic. Come on, get up. We got used. Actually, let's see. It's worth it, I think, looking at it's always worth it looking at the words here really quick. Where's the I actually have them on two separate files because I'm going to mix and match them to create the final PowerPoint. But let's just take a look at the verses. Rebuild the city. Come with me, brother. We got to build up the church. First, you lay the foundation. Like they laid the foundation. That was the first thing they did when they rebuilt, right? And get right back to worshiping. That's first. And then you might remember this from Haggai. Remember what God said? You guys are living in your paneled houses. Go up on the mountain, get some wood, and start working on my house. And we actually brought this up a lot because one thing I heard from a lot of friends is, the industry that never stopped during pandemic. There were a couple, but construction. Because everybody was just sitting around looking at their house like, what can I do to my house? A lot of people did renovations and stuff to their house, which is fine. But that verse in Haggai, God says, hey, you guys all have your beautiful houses. What happened to you? You had said you were going to rebuild the house of the Lord, and it hasn't happened yet. So, and then finally, I don't know if you remember this from Nehemiah, but what Nehemiah, the thing I love about Nehemiah is he's the guy who says, man, this is impossible. Let's do it. That's basically his attitude. And so he goes around and he looks at the wall, right? And he sees all the places that are destroyed. And he sees all the enemies and they're threatening to kill him and everything. And so you might remember what he finally says. He says, hey, you're going to go with your family. This is for your family. Fight for your family. You're going to go with your family. Stand in the place where the breaches are. You're going to have a sword. Remember, they worked with one hand. The other hand, they had their sword ready to go. And then he said, if anybody has a problem, if they start to attack you, then sound the trumpet. And everybody will come to that place. And so he made it happen, when everybody else. And one other thing we saw was very interesting. If you read the Nehemiah, they got to work and they did it. They were about half done, and they had a great time working until they were half done, and that's when they got tired and frustrated. And Nehemiah had to get them moving. It's like so often that happens to us, right? You get the work like half done, but then it gets challenging. So anyway, I hope that when you would hear something like the chorus, and we have been able to sing this a few times. We sang it at several youth meetings and stuff, even though I never got to record it. I hope you get the feeling of get up, right? So that's the idea. And to hear the end really quick, let's go to it so you can hear what it's like with all the parts well recorded.
Reedificar, vamos a reedificar, nadie nos detendrá, si Dios a nuestro lado está, vamos a reedificar, nadie nos detendrá, si Dios a nuestro lado está, vamos a reedificar, vamos.
And what's the last two notes?
Do.
Do, do. Right? Everybody's singing all at once. Do, do. Right? All right.